Take it away, my friend.
Hello everybody, my name is allison8bit, and I'm here to show you Have a Nice Death. The category I'm running through today is Fresh File. So I'm going to start a brand new file here, and we're just going to jump into it. Let me skip this cutscene, I'll start counting us down. Timer's going to start in 3, 2, 1, go. Alright, so this is Have a Nice Death. This is a brand new roguelike that came out just a little bit ago, March of this year, I believe. It was in early access for about 2 years. And in this game, you play as Death, and Death is overworked and approaching burnout. We've all been there, you know. So, Death hired some middle managers, the Sorrows, and we're going to be talking to them because they're doing a bit too efficient a job and causing more death rather than fixing things. So we're just going to make our way through here. This is a tutorial little section that shows us some basic things. Grab this weapon and do the first arena. Arena combat is something you're going to see all throughout the run. And so we're just going to get this taken care of. In the top left of the screen, you're going to see a couple things. You're going to see a health bar. Below that, a mana bar. Above it, some spots for some healing items. And then you're going to see I have weapons and spells on the left side. It's actually a really good start. That's the fire arrow, which is one of the spells we're going to be getting. And we got hurt to teach us how to heal. But, you know, we don't actually need that right now. So we're going to be taking things pretty safe. Normally I would try to be up top instead of at the bottom, but the bottom does have some occasional bonus things which are good for safety. They were actually added very recently, it seems. So yeah, lots of arena combat. Arenas are super nice because they're going to give us a reward in addition to the reward for each of the floors that we're on. In this case, we got a healing item. And yeah, so that's just going to be the basic combat loop. We go through a floor, we fight an arena, we get a reward for that, and then an additional reward at the end. And then each area ends with a shop and then a boss. We'll get more into those a bit later. So for here, we're mostly just looking to get a certain loadout at the start. Here's one of the nice starting rooms. So now I already have one extra weapon and one extra spell. And so you might be asking yourself, how are we going to be able to complete this whole run in a roguelike on the first run? Well, there's a skill tree that we're going to be getting some upgrades from to make us more powerful. This is a very powerful start. As we just got the bees. Bees are the huge powerhouse that we'll be use. I didn't expect to talk about that yet. But yeah, this is Mr. OSHA. Love the name. He gives us curses, and these curses are useful to get more powerful. We're going to be sticking with the green ones for the most part, as they're going to increase our spell damage, and that's going to be just how we're going to be super powerful and defeat all the enemies and bosses. But bees are something that we actually normally don't get in a run. You have to actually pay to unlock them from some of the progress. But for the first run, they gave it to us. I'm really not sure if it's like for your first run, they wanted you to have something really powerful, or if it's because they just needed more early spells to give players. But whatever the reason, I'm not complaining. I'm going to use the heck out of it. These not only deal a lot of damage, but also they home in on the opponent. So we're going to be using that quite heavily. It's literally half of our kit for the rest of the run. One other weapon away from finishing that off. So yeah, we're just picking up some currency and healing items along the way. This is going to be... so the healing is actually really interesting in this game. There's blue and gold for the healing items that we use. The blue ones are only able to heal the grayed out part of my health bar, whereas the golden ones can heal up the black part, which is considered a pure heal. Mostly that's injuries versus like smaller injuries, or like permanent health decrease otherwise. It's really not too bad. It's just kind of complicated. I like to bring that up pretty early because you'll be like, why did you heal and not actually finish? But just a weird little perk of their healing system. And there's our javelin. We have got our full kit at the end of the first section. You see that sometimes there is some patterns that happen with our upgrades and whatnot that we can get for different rewards. So normally I would go to equipment storage, but I already have every equipment item that I need. So we're actually able to increase our max mana or stamina or health. So we're going to be doing that here. And you're going to see like a lot of this combat is pretty interesting. There is a charged attack I would normally be using a lot more of, but it's based off of my scythe damage, and that gets outclassed by bees almost immediately. And most of the time we would have a little bit longer before we actually start doing that. And yeah, we're just going to keep clearing off these arenas. We're going to have a lot of extra mana and more extra mana. The mana system is really nice in this game as it regenerates over time. You don't need to like find any other things for that. And we're at 70 right now, which means bees cost 15. We'll actually be able to get 5 bees out of there because it will let you like, go up a little bit. If you need to underpay, the game is completely fine with that. So we're gonna sell one of the items we got, and we're gonna get another memo here. Just some extra mana. Let's go ahead and reroll that. A super powerful one. I'm gonna wait a little bit and see if I get something more powerful. But yeah, that's one of the 2 different kind of shops. The other one's gonna be upgrading our spells and abilities. We'll hopefully see the second area, but it's not guaranteed. But this is the first boss of the run. This is Brad. He's the security guy. And so we're going to be just doing a bunch of damage with our various... Just destroy this boss. The bosses are super nice, as they give us both an extra memo, so we get more powerful, which I'm guessing I'm just going to take this. It's not super great. Some of them will have downsides. Luckily, half of these downsides are areas that we won't even unlock in the first run. They're also going to give us an extra 20 max health, so the chance of us dying is going to be pretty slim. But in case the dying seems like it might happen, we have this break room afterwards, and this break room has a fridge with all kinds of either damage, defense increases for about 10 minutes, which should be most of the run with in-game time, or various ways of healing. And then there's also a water fountain that has animas that have slow price increases. It starts at 10, but then goes up to 25, 40, and then I believe 70 after that. But yeah, so this is the second biome, and the first one that's not just, you know, the halls that we were at before. This is the industrial pollution department. All biomes in the game are just based off of places that, you know, are causing death. Almost like that's a theme in this game or something. But yeah, this area is going to have a bunch of enemies that are trash or pollution based, and we're going to just try to be careful to not hit by them and make our way through pretty quickly. So if there's anything to plug or any donations, now is a great time for that.
Indeed, yes, I can do so. So, what we have coming up in maybe a few hours, but only in 2 runs, as well as we do have the night cover, there is a Worms World Party run that will be performed by the ever delightful Rock Bricks. And for that, there is a poll ongoing for what voice pack do people want to hear. Angry Scott's always a strong contender, currently is in the lead with $10. And just behind is Soulman, Thespian, and Cyberworm. So if you are a fan of any of these, then now is the time to make your move. In addition, there is a incentive here for the Worms World Party Remastered blindfolded missions. Now I'm sure I don't have to tell you what that will entail, but it currently sits at $147.59 out of 350, so there's still about 200 left to go. There's a lot that needs to be done, and we don't have the most time to do it, so if you want to see that, you know what must be done. Alright, back to the run.
Alright, so where I'm at now, I'm actually at a mini-boss called a Thanager. There's a handful of these throughout the run. There can be up to 1 per department, and they're really powerful because they give us both healing items, which I don't really need at the moment, but they also give us an OSHA contract, so we'll be sticking with that for now. Let's go ahead and just grab this one right here, see what we can get in a bit. Don't really need to heal, so we can just grab that. And yeah, so there's a lot of different choices for all these different floors. Hazard floors being a random option, which obviously don't really want to go there, but if there's no other options that are like really pulling us in one way or another, it's usually the best. The other thing I did in the floor for this was I picked up Prismium. Prismium is a premium currency that can only be used on either upgrades of either the one-shot or for spell upgrades. And so with the bees and other things, we're going to want to get them as powerful as possible. They are going to be our entire damage for the whole run. And because of that, we're going to want to get those bees upgraded a little bit. The first upgrade is pretty cheap at only 50 currency. Second one gets a bit pricier but doable at 125. And the last one is, let's go ahead and grab this right here. There's some special rooms that occasionally show up. That one just let me get a free heal. Sometimes they give you extra weapons, extra currency. Always worth checking out. Let's just grab that to sell. And so we're going to try to find as much resume as we can in most cases. It'll usually be our priority, as getting the most powerful spell upgrades is going to be super useful in the long term. This will be the last chance. Some of these floors have interesting things for the routing where they're like a chance at more currency or it's a chance at like prismium. The health upgrade floors might also have a chance at getting you mana upgrade. So it's like kind of a guess on those. And so you kind of just weigh like what's the chance of getting this versus. So unfortunately, yeah, we just got normal currency. I don't believe the bees are level 1 yet. If they are, then I have to spend the prismium to get level 2, which isn't too bad. So let's go ahead into the control room where we're going to meet Jacob, who's a large hot friend. And yeah, so we're going to spend 50 to make this a little bit better, and then spend the prismium to get a whole 125 worth of currency for an upgrade. I'm going to be finishing up this area with Mr. Gordon Grimes, the sorrow of the industrial pollution area. So just make our way through here, do a little bit of mashing, and start things off with a frenzy. Our dash gives us iframes, which makes this boss a lot easier, assuming you time it well. Which I cannot promise I will always do, but you know, it worked there. So all the bosses are going to have this little scream that they do halfway through. And unfortunately that scream is quite annoying. They have iframe during that, and we're going to use it usually just to try to get stuff done. And there we go. A second frenzy finished that fight off very quickly. Let's see what we get over here. Nothing super powerful. Let's just go ahead and reroll this. We'll just grab this. Termination is whenever you defeat an enemy. In this case, it's going to give us flames. And so as you see right now, my health and my healing items are all just fully maxed out. So I don't need to do anything in its fridge yet. I could see if it has yeah, so just heal at this point. It will change between. We're to the physical illness department. This is the third of the biomes. This area is a bit of a frustrating one because there's a lot of randomness. Enemies in this area are stuff like there's various different kind of like blobs, ulcers, some occasional hearts that are going to explode. A lot of things that want to spawn more things, just like you would expect in this kind of area. And I'm getting a little bit of fire whenever I do that attack, so that's kind of cool. And yeah, there's just a bunch of upgrades, and it's really kind of hard to figure out exactly what everything does. You gotta kind of just vibe with it for a while. The best things to do are to get infusions, which unfortunately we weren't able to see any of those quite yet. We're just going to keep going and see what we can get here. This is the Vita Mana, so it'll either give us max health or give us max mana. And for this area, it's a lot of is just either moving down or moving up. It's really inconsistent. Sometimes you can just skip the arenas entirely, which obviously skipping arenas is a great thing when you're going really fast. But it's not always the best in like a marathon save kind of thing, because it could keep us getting more powerful actually. I'll take speed if I can, but safety is the priority for a roguelike speedrun. We're going to go to Mr. OSHA again. If there's any other donations or any plus, now is another good time for that.
Yes, indeed. We have had a few through. It is a marvelous time to be looking at this backend because there is just so much generosity. First of all, for Ori Sky, we have an enormous $96.06. And they say, been loving the marathon so far. Can't believe we've already raised $2,498.73 for charity. Good luck to the rest of the runners, and let's keep going and see if we can get to that whopping $2,499.81. Ooh, it's a challenge. I know, people. Next up, we've got from Joker a grand total of $18.02, and they say, thanks to Rewarder Drawer for the idea. Been loving it all so much. I absolutely agree. And finally, from Bjorta, we have $10, and they simply say, heart. But this means that the Worms World Party Remastered Voice Pack choice has actually become extremely unbalanced, as now Angry Slots leads by $124.08. Wow. Incredible work. So let's see if we keep this up. We've got some good numbers going, and that donation goal for the blindfolded missions is quickly diminishing. Alright, back to the run.
Sounds good. So we're at the Simp Manager here. This is the King Dengu, and we're going to see if we can kind of melt them, but they are a mosquito. They're going to feed all of my life, of course. I want to make sure I don't get hit, because both are dealing some damage. Let's go ahead and heal real quick. There we go. My spells will deal 10 bonus damage. That'll be super powerful for the rest of this. Here, this is a really cool speed game. I know the community is actually a very few English speakers right now. It is primarily there's a French section of the community and a Japanese section of the community. So it's always good to try to get more runners into this game. It's just like a fun, fast one, and it's like very optimized. And there is another category that some people tend to run, which is called vacation percent. But we're not doing that because they have a very little, like, the way it works is you need to pretty much reset your save file every single run so that you can guarantee buying one upgrade at the start of the run to guarantee it to show up in like at the start. So it's a lot of extra work, whereas with this one you just start a new file. So it's definitely much friendlier to start with and just run overall. So if anyone's interested, it's a great speed game with a pretty cool community. I'd always love to see grow. At this point, I don't really care about upgrading my javelin. I don't have enough for another upgrade. We're actually going to go back to the shop, which I don't tend to do very often. But we're going to go ahead and sell off this sword that I got. Let's see what the curse gives us. More regen is almost always a good thing, as it makes us so we can play more spells. And we're going to upgrade the downsides don't even really matter there. I'm gonna go ahead and heal real quick just so I can buy another one of these. And we'll be on our way to the probably hardest boss of the run, actually. This is Hector Crank. They are a very large crab. I believe they're in here as a representation of cancer for the physical illness department. And they are quite difficult. They just have range. They're pretty much impossible to like dodge. So we're gonna kind of just fight through them really quick. Yeah, luckily after this, like every other boss is actually quite a bit easier. Or at least guaranteed bosses. There is an optional boss that can be kind of tricky. We'll see how my damage is looking when we get there. So here's actually probably my favorite one of these to get. Whenever I defeat an enemy, I get 50 mana, which means I can just kind of stand around and shoot off the bees, and the bees will just take down everything. No extra health. Well, we got the extra health, but no extra currency, unfortunately. But now it's time to raid the fridge and use the water cooler, because we're about to go to the final area. We could have used these earlier, but again, we've been in a pretty good spot. So we're gonna get the first one's free. Just give us 5 minutes of more damage. And then we'll get a little bit of a heal. Super useful. Save currency to maybe get to the bee upgrade, or maybe upgrade the javelin if needed. It's definitely something though. Alright, and so this is the final area. This is the Modern Warfare department, which has a lot more enemies than you've seen before, and they're kind of all over the place. We'll try to kill some of them on the way because they can occasionally mess with the bees when I'm in these arenas. But yeah, so at this point, my bees are pretty powerful, and I can just kind of just spam the bees. They're just going to go everywhere. Get to turn off the brain a little bit. Go ahead and just use a frenzy here, as it will come back pretty quickly. Unfortunately, we really don't need many of the other things here. We're just going to be using this. This area is a lot of going up and down all throughout underground, kind of like bunkers and stuff. So I've probably just got a couple more floors. I might have one or two more things to talk about, but if there's another short plug, now would be a great time.
Well, yes, I can indeed tell people that we have $20 here from Oat. No message, but we thank you very much for it. And if you are in a donating mood, then if I've not hyped this up enough, then you should really get hyped now, because in tomorrow's run of Worms World Party, there's actually a special little something that is being put on by Team 17, the publishers. If you are to donate and make claim known, then you will be eligible to claim a key for Worms WMD if you donate $5, the Night Wish if you donate 10, if you donate 15 then Killer Frequency, if you donate 20 you get Dredge, at 25 you get Trepan 2, and if you go for the Mega Pack, which is available at $100, then you will get all of the above games, including as well Blasphemous, Poker Life, Monster Sanctuary, Naruto Boy, and Sunday Gold. This will only be available during the Worms World Party run. You can double dip, but it will be as 2 donations, and for each reward there is a maximum of 10 redemptions. So people, look forward to it. Bookmark that run. It will be the first one when we come back tomorrow, because there is a lot on the table here. I am absolutely looking forward to it. I know I'm going to be donating something. How about you? Alright, back to the run.
Alright, so we're at the final Thanager, which is an optional boss. I think my damage is good enough that it should be fine, as the combination of things I have lets me get my frenzy up very quickly. So we're going to make our way through here. And just hope that they can stay away from us. They have a lot of range, so just staying pretty far away, playing this really safe. And that'll get them finished. Do a little heal right there, and just increase our mana regen. At this point, our damage is pretty solid, though it can always be improved. That will probably be the last OSHA memo we're going to get. So let's just go ahead and increase our max mana at this point. So we've only got a few floors left, and unfortunately one of the floors that I may not be able to show you, we'll see if it comes up soon. But there's a floor called an Intriguing Floor, and these are really cool because they're like little challenges. They're not quite the combat-oriented stuff like most of the rest of the game. These are actually little challenges where you have to be... let's go ahead and heal here. Sure. It has a lot of these little secret rooms that I keep finding. There's lots of like little challenges that show up, and it's going to be super good to ideally show that off. And yeah, this is the power of the termination causing mana regen. So I can just stand here, just spam these, and everything's just gonna just explode. This is why we can do so much with the bees at the first run. So we're making our way through to the last few areas. There is a chance that the control room, like we had shop earlier, there might be a control room coming up. I'm a little bit short from that final upgrade, so let's hope it's not here. It is. That's fine. We'll just still take it as a free floor. Upgrade something else a bit. And yeah, the control room is not in the normal spot here, and the shop can be in a different spot as well. So if we're lucky, we would be actually able to get all the get the shop and an intriguing floor and a weapon upgrade store all in different segments. And if you do that, you have a chance to just skip 3 combats in the final area, making it the potentially like shortest one. And you already have like a bunch of various like powerful spells to make it just go really fast. And luckily the cool thing is just like the bees and everything, it's always in a specific order for the first run. So like it's actually really consistent for a fresh file run. You're always gonna end up with this kit at some point, given a long enough time. I think the one I got here was like particularly fast, but so we're gonna be finishing off. This is the last room before the final boss. The final boss is actually a lot of fun, and it took me a while to learn, as it's a lot more movement based than other bosses. And yeah, we have full health, got a lot of stuff going on. So this is going to be the final sorrow, Major Bishkan. Luckily, this is going to be pretty good with the amount of damage we have. We're going to just hold B as we go into skip the cuts to make them move a lot faster. And start things off with a frenzy with these bees, and we're just, again, we're going to be making this boss. They have a lot of different attacks that take up a lot of the arena, and so we're going to want to be quite careful not to get hit. We're going to be set up for after the extreme. Time's going to be coming up at the end of this fight as soon as the boss is exploding at the end and the health bar goes away, so there's a little bit of time. But yeah, all of this damage, we're just getting this frenzy meter constantly built up. And that's time. Alrighty, so this is Have Nice Death Fresh File. First run cleared, no meta progress or anything. I think it's really cool. Of course, now we've talked to all our sorrows, showed them who's boss, and we're at the point where we're going to go on our location, or try to. Unfortunately, it's been sabotaged, and we have to clear a few more runs before we actually get that vacation. But yeah, I hope you had a good time watching my run. Let me see what the time was here. Not too bad. Pretty solid time overall. Nice start, at least. But yeah, if you have a good time, my name's allison8bit. I stream on Twitch most weekdays, and I do all kinds of speedruns and variety things. Lots of rando lately. So you do some archipelago or other speed games. Yeah, I think that's everything for me. So I hope you had a good time, and I hope to see you again soon. Take care, everyone.
Thank you very much indeed. Another round of applause and GG in chat for allison8bit there, bringing us an absolutely fantastic run. We will be back after this short break with Silent Hill 3 being run by Abbey Corner. In the meantime, though, please do pay attention because we have a few messages here from Gate, our charity for this event. They're a brilliant cause and I hope you appreciate it. Back in a moment then.
So my last question for you